Hello again. We are Geeks Assembled. There's Susan, and I'm Lee, and today we are discussing a 2013 movie considered to be part of a trilogy of comedic movies, but each movie doesn't have anything in common really, apart from the actors. The Cornetto trilogy. This is the third one because we've done the other two before. This is The World's End, starring Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. Story of five people who knew each other when they're younger, growing up in a small town, and they go separate ways when they get older. But there's one quest they never did, and that was the Golden Mile, the 12 pub crawl. Start off in one pub and end in the last pub, which was named The World's End. Gary, played by Simon Pegg, is a 40-year-old alcoholic, shall we say, with other problems that we learn about later on in the movie. Wants to get the gang back together again, just to do this Golden Mile one more time, to succeed in doing all the 12 pubs, to drink in each pub. He gets them back together, but certain things are a bit strange in this town. But we'll get into that as we go further into the cast. So, Susan, what are your thoughts? The World's End.
So, Simon Pegg and Nick Frost are an amazing duo as a comedy pairing. They are fantastic, and Nick Frost is, I guess, Nick Frost always plays sort of the straight man to Simon Pegg's zany man, and but these two are so amazingly talented, and I really love their work, and I think that this one leads right nicely into Paul, which is the fourth of the Cornetto trilogy, if you will.
It's not though, is it?
It kind of is. Because it's another road trip kind of thing. It's another anyway. The reality is that these villages, these countryside people can get a little bizarre. I find as I watch more and more British telly, that they have a lot to answer for, because they have a lot of there are a lot of problems that they don't deal with head on. The first one is that they've been invaded by aliens, and the second one is that they haven't told anybody that they've been invaded by aliens, and those two things come together to really the aliens are really trying to take over a little bit by bit, the control of a community, as sort of like a test case for taking over the whole of Earth, and they're willing to be our benevolent overlords.
Mm-hmm.
And we always love our benevolent overlords, don't we? And but we always also love to follow orders when we've never grown up. That's a big issue here, because Gary King wants to be considered the king of the humans, and so he's actually eventually given that sort of honor and authority. Actually, Gary King is also someone who never grew up, never got over his his childhood stuff, his adulthood stuff. Still wants to be 20 or 18 or 17 or 16 or whatever it is that he is in the younger version. And, you know, back then he was quite something. And now he's just, he's just a normal guy. The trouble is that he was never really actually considered himself a normal guy. He thought of himself as like this amazing person. Anyway, I really enjoy these because of the interplay between Simon and Nick, and I also, it's fun to see Martin Freeman go from being, yeah, especially since the last thing that I watched with him, and it was Fargo. I rewatched his season of Fargo. I mean, he just does all sorts of good stuff, being both bad guy and good guy. He's amazing, and then the whole Rosamund Pike playing Sam, love interest to uh, to Oliver and Stephen also, and I mean these two guys just you know crashing over her, and that's there we have another lovers triangle. So yeah, just like in White Zombie, another one that we watched this week. Here we have another lovers triangle that only that one was just like a short term lovers triangle, sort of like something that kind of like popped up. This is something that's been eating at these people for years and years and years, and it's a total triangle.
I hope Oliver wasn't in the love triangle because he was her brother.
Oh no, not Oliver. Then it was
It was
was it Andy,
it was Gary and Stephen.
Gary, and Stephen? Then
Yeah.
oh, that's right. Sorry.
I was going to say a bit of incest there.
Yeah, never mind. I'm sorry. I got the name wrong. Uh, no, I I did get the whole thing. Anyway, so takes place in these pubs. The first two pubs, you're like, oh, this is going to be so quaint British, and then it turns out to be one of those uh franchise pubs.
Hmm.
I mean, we in Boston have one franchise pub. It's called Cheers, and yeah, so everything looks like the show. But I've heard that a lot of these old quaint British pubs are franchise pubs,
And
and they all,
yeah, they look the same in every one you go.
yeah, I've heard that. So anyway, that's interesting. Um, and what else? Uh, yeah, it's got a few scary moments, but mostly it's aliens, and you know, I just, yeah, I just thought that we ought to finish this, but I thought that they were going to be more zombified, but these were intellectually astute aliens asking for some control measures and doing control study. I don't know. Good science, but anyway, that's my opening thoughts. Go on.
Well, cool. They are cool aliens with the blue lights coming out the eyes and mouth, um,
Uh huh.
and then you find out because what they found out with the bodies they take over the duplicates, what happens to the original ones? They're made into fertilizer.
Uh huh.
Um, so they are a threat to the human race, really. Um,
Eventually, yeah.
yeah. But you do when you're watching this, if you haven't seen it before, you're watching this, you don't expect it to be an alien invasion movie. It, you,
Right.
you think, as you say, to the second pub, it's going to be five guys. getting angry at each other because one of them doesn't want to grow up. He's living in the past. Everybody else has moved on. They've been sort of forced to join in on this pub crawl just for Gary's.
Hmm.
And then all of a sudden, it all kicks off in the men's toilets uh,
Yeah.
when someone's head's knocked off with all the blue ink. Blood. And you think, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah. I mean, some planets must have like a lot of hydraulic fluid that is blue.
Because they are sort of like a shell, aren't they?
Hmm.
They're a shell. But they keep calling them robots, and we know what robots mean, don't we? Slaves.
Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm.
as he mentioned in the movie. Um,
Uh,
but yeah, I do like the interaction between Sam and Peg. His character has got problems. You straight away, you know, he's got a drink problem, and then later on, you find out he's sort of had suicide attempts.
yep.
With so his life is in the gutter really. Mm.
Yeah.
And the rest of them have made something of their lives. Um, but yeah, it's a good buddy movie. Um, and it's sort of as you said, a typical British just a night out, and then all of a sudden you say the aliens sort of show the hand, and whole hell breaks loose. Um, so as you say, a good supporting cast here. You've mentioned Rosamund Pike. Um, we've got Pierce Brosnan in this as
Yeah.
the ex school teacher. Um, we've also got David Bradley in this as Mad Basil,
Hmm.
as he's the one who kept warning them about aliens back in the day.
Hmm.
Everything he's warned them about came true. We've got Bill Nye. You don't see him, but you hear him. He's the voice of the network,
Oh
uh,
yeah.
the voice of the alien boss. Um, so you got some known names, quite well-known names in this.
Right.
Uh,
Michael Smiley
yeah. Oh yeah. As
as Reverend
Reverend
uh,
Green.
with all the good reefer or cannabis.
Yeah. Um, he, yeah. So you got some of what have appeared in the movies before. I mean, Reece Shearsmith has appeared in this as one of the local in the bar. You've got little cameos, but it's yeah, it does take a turn at the end. You think, yes, they're all going to get, they're going to get away. The aliens have decided, yeah, we're going to go. You don't want our help. We'll just leave you to it. But, and when they do leave that, they somehow sets off a pulse in the town,
Uh-huh.
which starts to engulf the town, and it expands, and it sort of kills the whole world. Um, it's like as you say, the world's end. The titles in the in the movie title, but with it's the pub, but also it is the end of the world where they're left trying to cope with no power. Um, having to grow their own vegetables in the fields, and then then you get Gary's character at the end wandering the wastelands with four of the resurrected. What did they call them?
Kids. The kids.
The
The
kids.
the the young ones.
Yeah, but what did they call them?
Blanks. The
Blanks.
blanks.
Blanks. Yeah. Like a gang in a western movie, and that's what Gary wanted. He wanted
Yeah.
to he wanted to stay young, but he hasn't stayed young bodily. He's
Hmm.
still mentally in his head, and with these young blanks with him from his childhood, he's back where he wants to be.
Right.
And as we know, he's drinking tap water at the end of the movie instead of alcohol.
Yeah.
So one good thing happens because of the end of the world. He kicks alcohol out. The world's ending.
Yeah.
He's become a teetotaler.
And and you know you are you kind of you never while they're going through that one epic night, you know,
Mhm.
they you're never like rooting against uh Gary,
No,
or you're never rooting against him for to finish the drinks, you know. You kind of want him to. You kind of want the you even though you know it's hurting him, you know, you kind of want him to finish all those drinks, right?
uh, well, I got the feeling a bit selfish, to be honest. Everybody, you've got to escape. You've got to get out of here. No, I'm going to get that other pint. Bit selfish, putting everybody else in danger.
Oh, okay.
But that's his his state of mind wasn't. He wasn't in the right state of mind. I don't think in this movie.
Yeah.
Um, that's why he wanted his friends with him. He wanted his friends to be near him to
Yeah.
to
And
get
not his new friends, but his old friends.
girlfriends. Yeah, because he didn't have any new friends. Yeah, but
Yeah.
and to be honest, that's what happens in a lot of happens in real life.
Mhm.
You're at school, you promise to stay in touch forever, and you leave school, and within a couple of years, you don't see each other, or again.
Right.
And you say some people never get out from that. They think, what's happened to my friends? Where are they? And they don't even give you a second thought. They've got on with their
Yeah.
life. They've had families. They've got their professions, the jobs. But certain people just stay in the past. I know because I'm like that.
Mhm.
I'm still living in 1985.
I know. That's true.
But I'll tell you what was a standout in this as well was the soundtrack. This
Yeah.
soundtrack to this movie was amazing. The songs in this, from late 80s, early 90s of
Uh
UK
huh.
of UK chart music at the time, amazing. Uh,
Yeah.
you had Primal Scream in there. You had
Uh huh.
the Soup Dragons in there. You had Sisters of Mercy in there.
Uh huh.
Um, House Martins was in there,
Yeah.
who were from Hull. Um,
Nice.
but yeah, the soundtrack is an amazing. It adds to the movie. It wasn't modern day music. It was the music from his youth, what was playing.
Right.
So you got the feeling this is where he wanted to be.
And it was all on that one mixtape that was still
The
in the
car,
deck
yeah,
of the Beast.
the original mixtape, yeah,
Yeah.
the
So
original,
cool.
the original Beast. What had new tires, new engine, new
Uh-huh.
door, everything, new chassis, but it was the same car. Ah,
Huh.
uh, anything else, Susan? From the world's end?
My kudos to Edgar Wright. Nice job.
Oh yeah, yeah. He- They're a good writing team. I think this was this Sam Pegg and Edgar Wright. Yes, Sam and Pegg and Edgar Wright on this one for writing it, and Edgar Wright directing, of course.
Yeah.
But there is rumor that they are going to try and do a fourth Cornetto movie. I don't know how true that is, but I've heard and read things in the past 6 months.
Okay.
Uh,
Well, they
which
did do a tree spotting too, so
yeah,
these things
yeah,
can happen.
it can happen. It's just a matter of timing, getting the right script, and hopefully some of the actors what have been in the previous movies can be available to appear.
Yeah, agreed.
Uh, and that's what makes this. It's like a franchise thing.
It is a franchise thing.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Not, I mean, I was going to say like a Carry On movie, but there was 30 odd of those. I don't
Right.
think I don't think we're going to get 30 odd Cornetto movies.
No, but you can also connect uh because this one ends with aliens and Paul begins with an alien and it's got Nick and Simon in it, you can add that to it, right? Am I right?
But they don't
No.
class it as a Cornetto movie.
No, because maybe because Edgar Wright didn't make it, but anyway,
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
it's got to have the same people writing and directing.
Right, right. Okay.
So,
Well, it's a truly enjoyable piece, and yeah, I'm a really big fan of these.
but you've also got to realise this was made after Paul.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So
Forgot
this doesn't
that.
lead into Paul.
It was the other way around. Okay.
Hmm.
So, huh.
Just to confuse the matters.
Just to confuse your podcast friend here.
Just have I messed up your head, Cameron?
Ah, thanks. Thanks, Lee.
That's what I'm here for.
Yep.
Always there to mess your head up. Uh,
Yep.
there again, it doesn't need much messing. So,
Ah, ha, ha,
ah,
ha, ah.
um, anything else before we go to final sense score? Then
Uh,
I'm just wondering if it was
yeah,
real.
I really. What?
I'm just wondering if it was real lager that we're drinking.
Yeah,
That'd have been
I
sozzle.
would. Yeah. And whoever's pouring those pints, they did a great job. They didn't get too much foam on the top.
Mm-hmm.
Good, good, good. Anyway, yeah, I enjoyed it. I like the soundtrack too, and I love the energy of the guys, especially Nick's eventual like intoxication after doing all those shots. He just became Superman energetic wise. It was fun.
Teetotal for 20 years or so
Yeah, yeah.
because of
It
Gary.
was because of Gary.
Yeah,
Everything was always because of Gary.
yeah. Gary did this. Gary did that.
Yeah.
So,
So I give this 10 10 local franchise pubs out of 10 for this uh, three movie franchise that doesn't actually have all the same parts as all the other franchises. It's
yeah,
just very different, It's a very different thing.
cool. Yeah, it's a great movie. You know what you're going to get from Frost and Peck and Wright. Um, every time you see their names, great cast, supporting cast, great special effects.
Mm-hmm.
So I will say I'm going to give this 10 full-bodied pints out of 10 for The World's End. I fully recommend it. If you've seen the other two movies, Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead, you'll enjoy this.
You will.
It
True.
doesn't disappoint. So that's our review of The World's End. As usual, if you've seen the movie, leave a comment below on this video. Let us know what you thought of the movie. this video is shared across the social media platforms, so you'll find us on them all. You know, they're there. And if you want to join us, leave a message on the video. Please, may I join your group and can I attend your cast? Yes, you can, as long as you're 18 and over. All you need is a working camera and microphone on the device you use, and of course, you should be just subscribing to us on YouTube.
You too.
Should be following us on X. You should be following us on Facebook, wherever. But on YouTube, there's a little button, bell notification button to press. Press that, please. There you go. And you will get notified every time we put up one of our videos. So that's all the bump and spiel at the end of the video we usually do. Nothing else, I don't think, Susan, is there?
No.
Cool. In that case, I'm off now to start our pub crawl round
Huh,
town.
nice. I'll
It'll be
meet you in 20 years, and then and I'll bring the aliens.
cool. Yeah, mine's a pint with a pickled egg.
Oh,
Oh,
never
don't you
had
have
that.
don't you have the pickled eggs over there?
Yeah.
And on that bombshell, we'll say good night, farewell, stay safe, keep your head up to the skies, look up for those aliens. Bye for now.